Hey everyone! So today I am planting up even more plants that I have to keep inside somewhere until I can move them out mid or late May. I am very quickly running out of room for all my plants inside, but I'm gonna have to figure out a solution somehow. So last November, I went to an event at the Proven Winners headquarters, which is here in Illinois. I was very excited to be invited. I will put the link down below for that video, just kind of going over the trip itself. But when we were there, they had a whole presentation on caladiums, and I fell in love with a few of the varieties that they showed. I have grown caladiums before, never planted them from the bulb. I've always bought the plant like from the store. But today I have a bunch of bulbs of my 3 favorite varieties that they talked about that I'm going to plant up. Now these were sent to me by Proven Winners. I think they are sending 3 different types of plants for me to try out in my garden. So I'm very grateful for that because the best kind of plants are free plants. And I think there's 3 varieties. I think there are 10 bulbs of each variety. And the person who sent them has been incredibly helpful with all of their tips. Like I'm pretty sure I was talking to the person that is in charge of caladiums. So they recommended planting 3 bulbs per container and then using that as one larger plant. I do have some larger containers here that I think that would work really well for, but I don't have enough large containers. So I also have some small containers here where I will plant them individually also. So I'll have some that are 3 bulbs together, some that are just 1 bulb. Where I'm thinking of putting these. So the caladiums, well, 2 of the caladium varieties, and I'll go over the varieties specifically in a second and put pictures so you can see what they look like. 2 of them are sun or shade, and then 1 of them is preferred shade. So what I'm thinking is probably most of these are gonna go in part shade to full shade areas in my garden because I have enough plants that need the full sun, and it can get pretty hot up here on a rooftop deck. So I'm thinking some potentially in the parkway because there are 2 trees down there that provide a lot of shade over the parkway. So that's pretty much like an almost full shade area. I think some on the front pots, or some on the front stairs in pots that I have. And then up here, and let me know if you can find something like this. I would love to create like a border along the shady side of my rooftop deck. So because the sun is shining from the south wall of my deck casts, I'd say maybe like 2 feet of shade on the ground. And I would love to have some sort of container, almost like a large window box where it's like maybe a foot wide and like 4 feet long, and have a couple of those, but I haven't had any luck in finding planters of that size. Also not that high off the ground, like maybe like, I don't know, less than a foot off the ground. Haven't found any that size, haven't found even any just like plastic bins that size to drill holes into. So if you know anything like that, let me know. But now let's go ahead and I will go through the varieties that I got, and then we will go through the process of making a mess inside, planting all these up, and finding a place to keep them until I can move them outside. So this is the box I got, and it came in, I don't know if it's like, I don't think it's wood chips, but some kind of packing material. They recommended, like I said, either potting them up now to give them a head start, which is what I love to do to take full advantage of the growing season, or if I was going to plant them directly outside, to just leave them in here in a warm, dry area. But I am going to plant these up. So let's see which bag I pull out first. I already know there will be a mess here. Actually, I'll just grab all 3 out of here. Boop. And let's put the box on the ground. Okay, so 3 varieties I have. I have in a sun to shade variety, this is Heart to Heart White Star. And then again, obviously they just all look like bulbs right now. So I will put the picture up on the screen of what they look like. But this one, like I said, is one of the sun to shade. So it's kind of like a white color with green trim on the leaves. I think this one will be really easy to work into almost any area that I want, just because white tends to kind of blend in with everything. Then I have Heart to Heart Clowning Around. This one also says shade. I thought on the website it said sun to shade, but it says shade on the tag. All these will get to about 15 to 20 inches high, so not super large, but a good height for something in a container, especially that you want as the thriller. But this one has a really pretty variety of like red in the middle, then pink, and then going to green. This one I might, so I think for the Parkway, I'm going to put like just one variety, and I want a lot of colors in the Parkway, so this one might be Parkway, but again, who knows? My plans always change once I actually start planting them outside. But then my favorite, this is the one that when they were going through the presentation, I was like, oh yes, I need that in my garden. But this one is called Heart to Heart Vava Violet, and it's really beautiful. I find myself going more towards violet. This season I got lilac colored dahlias. I got like lavender, lilac color, I think asters, and I feel like there's another one that's kind of that light purpley color, but I'm really excited for that color this season for some reason. This one is also a shade variety. So this one I think I'm going to stick with just up here. I would love to mix the violet and white together in a planting, maybe with some of the mini like white hydrangeas. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas. We'll kind of see what containers I can find for all of these. All of these are tropical plants, so they like really warm weather. It's recommended not to put them in weather that'll be colder than 65. So I probably won't even move these out like after the last frost mid-May, depending on what the weather looks like. But these might go out kind of with my peppers. Those are the ones I usually move out the last because they like the warmest weather. So this might not even be until like end of May. So I'm looking at about 6-7-ish weeks of them living inside with me. And speaking of that, these can also be houseplants. So I think definitely the Vava Violet, I'm going to grow one just as a houseplant and see how it does. Even though they like shade, they do like to be in like indirect light, bright, indirect light windows. So I think that'd be really pretty as a houseplant. But now we can go ahead and make even more of a mess than I've already made and get these planted up. So like I said, I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, roughly 10, maybe more. You know what, maybe I should cut these open and actually count how many there are, and then we will get them planted up first in large pots with 3 to a container, and then whatever I have left over in the small containers, just 1 to a container. All right, let's get to the messy part. All right, let's see how many we have of each, and also how many tags did they send? Oh, just 2 tags for these. So we got of the lilac 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then there's these small ones. I wonder if I can plant these individually. 15, 16, 17. Whew, I think I can already tell I have more than I will probably pot up. So that means I will tell my Instagram friends that I have some bulbs if anyone wants them. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of the lilac, and then these 3 tiny ones, or of the violet. I'm gonna keep calling it lilac. Then of crowning around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 2 little small nubs. Again, I don't know if that's going to be able to be planted up. And last one here, the white star. Goes up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and just 1 little nubby one. So 14, 13, 12, and they did come with paint on them. They told me that I need to paint them white side up, which is helpful because I think, I mean, when I plant like tulip bulbs or dahlia tubers, I feel like those are pretty easy to tell which way is up. I don't necessarily know if, like I was looking at this right here without the paint on it, would I know which way is up? So the ones with the white on it is the side that is up. Now the white star has orange paint. I'm going to assume that I'm doing orange paint side up because there's no white paint on the underside or anything like that. And actually, something I don't think I realized is that it seems like the roots come out of the top and the leaves come out of the top. So I'm supposed to bury these just about 2 inches deep into the soil. So it's gonna be interesting with these cups. I don't know, maybe I have to go with some larger ones. We'll kind of see, go along as we plant and kind of figure it out from there. But I know I'm gonna start with these 7 largest containers first. Okay, so here's what I think my game plan is gonna be. First of all, I have my tub of potting soil that I keep inside here. I can already tell, looking at it, that I'm going to have to go all the way downstairs and get another bag when I run out of this, which will be very quickly because there's not much left. So I think I'm gonna do 4 of the larger containers with 3 in them for both the Vava Violet and the White Star, because again, I think those I'm gonna keep up here and try to make some sort of border on the deck with them, and I'd like them to be a bit larger. Also, I think one of the Vava Violets is what I will keep as a house plant, maybe one of each, but I think I want the larger plants of those. Then for the clowning around, because I think this one's gonna go in the parkway, I do have like hostas and some larger plants down there, so I think it would be fun to kind of tuck like just the individual bulbs. So I don't think I'm gonna do any of the 3 bulb planting, but I think I'm just gonna put just a little bit of soil in small cups, rest this on top, cover it with about 2 more inches of soil. So all of the clowning around will be small. Most of the Vava Violet and White Star will be large, and then whatever extras I have left over, I will also make small. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll get started. So just putting in the potting soil to this first one, and I don't even know, so I mean this is a pretty, like it's a pretty tall pot. And since it only needs a couple inches on top, I might not fill it up all the way. Like I think I'm putting about 3 inches on the bottom. Then I will put in 1, again, white side up, 2, 3, right there into the pot, and then I will just put 2 more inches on top. That way I can save a little bit of soil, and hopefully that'll be fine for, like I said, the 6 to 7 weeks that they are in here. So now we'll cover this up. I'm already seeing the bottom of this tin that has the soil in it. And actually, being able to plant over this is making it a lot less messy than I expected it was going to be. So that is maybe a little bit more for 2 inches on top. There we go. So I mean, it's still pretty full, but it's not all the way full. There's a lip of about 2 inches. I need a lip anyway to water it. And they also recommended watering with warm water. Like that's how much these plants love warmth, is that if you do cold water, it can kind of stunt the growth at first. So I will be doing warm water. They also sound very much like me and my temperature preferences. So I will put the Vava Violets over there so I don't forget which ones they are, and just work through the rest of these. Okay, well, I am done planting them all up. That only took about 10 minutes, so not too bad. I have the 3 little nubs of the Vala Violet, but I have 2, as I spill, 2 individuals, and then 4 containers with 3 bulbs in the pots. Then for clowning around, I have 13 individuals. And then the white star, there were just 12 of those, so I have 4 larger pots. And so I don't forget which of the individuals is which, I'm going to write VVV for Vava Violet on these 2, and then that way I know if they don't have anything on them, they are clowning around. Now what I still have no idea is, 1, how I'm going to water these, because obviously they have drainage holes, and I can't water them on the wood table. I can cover the table with dirt just fine, but I don't want to cover it with water. I can't bring them outside and use the hose because it is a little bit chilly right now. So I might have to just bring them all individually over to the sink. So I'll probably do that. It might take a little bit, but nothing too bad. And I actually think, so I have the bags of dahlias in the shower. Maybe I can just leave them on the floor in the guest bathroom for now. It's actually easier to find spots for them before they need the sunlight, because they can just kind of go anywhere. But once they sprout, so what the person I was emailing with said that they are doing, although I don't know what growing zone they're in, but they have a plastic greenhouse, kind of like I had the plastic greenhouse still out on the back deck, and they've just been keeping them in there. Now I still think right now in Chicago, it's a little bit too chilly for that, but hopefully by the time they sprout, I can put them out there in the plastic greenhouse in a sunny location so that the greenhouse heats up, because it did do a great job of protecting all of my perennials over winter. So that might be the plan once they sprout. But I think for now, the plan is to water them in the sink and leave them on the bathroom floor. I'm kind of excited that's my life though. So here's what I've MacGyvered, and I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. So I have the 3 different varieties here. They are on top of the domes that I use for my Jiffy starting trays for all of my seeds, because those have all germinated. So I don't need the tops anymore on those. So they're now acting as saucers to catch the water underneath these pots. The sink is right here. So I just filled up that pitcher with warm water and watered all of these in. I'll probably check on them about once a week, just to see if they need more water. You want to keep them, slightly damp, not soggy. I water my houseplants on a weekly basis, so I'll just kind of check these at the same time. And that's my toilet, which I never thought I'd be showing on the internet. So I think that's everything that I have to do today for those. Not actually taking up a lot of space. So I think it'll be fine in there until they actually sprout and need light, which then again, hopefully by that time I can keep them in the plastic greenhouse on the deck, because I remember last year around mid-May when it was time to move things out, I was already tired of all the plants that I had inside for the garden, and I definitely had maybe half as many as I do this year. So I can only imagine how I'm going to feel in, about a month when the plants are taking over all of my indoor space. Oh, look how good my pothos looks. Also, I think we're finally getting these rooms painted in the next month. I'm going to hopefully have it happen after I move everything outside, so we'll kind of see how that goes. But that means I need to find new spaces for all of my houseplants. But that's another day and another video. So thank you so much for watching this one, and I will see you next time. Bye.